I saw this episode. It's about slime, you guys. And, I'm a snail, but I'm slimy. So, in a way, we're related, okay? Alright, let's go.
This episode sponsored by Brilliant. Learn to think.
Oh.
This throbbing bloblet here is something called a plasmodial slime mold. It's not some unusual thing either.
It's
If
pulsing.
you've taken a hike in the woods, chances are you've walked right by one and didn't even notice it. And why would you? We're so damn superior.
They look like blackberries.
Now, they don't look like
Screw
much,
YouTube, I guess. Oh, hi, YouTube!
do they? And you have to speed up the footage to
Oopsie.
see them move. But let's stop right here for a moment. You see that ant right there? That ant is made up of about 20 million cells. The forest loogie that it's standing on, you know how many cells that is? 1. It's a single
Why does it
big
look,
cell. And there's bigger ones too. Some species can get up to 3 feet across.
Ew!
Now, you've seen big cells before. The yolk of an egg is a single cell, for example.
Oh,
But
I
think
didn't
you'd agree
know.
that the yolk of an egg can't exactly fend for itself. F***ing useless.
Wait, is this sped up? Or like, how fast is this sped up? Because that looks
Delicious.
so goofy.
Jay, enough with this footage. It's frightening.
Wait.
Oh, this one's worse.
I think
It looks
volume
like a
is
stab
fine,
in a
right?
jacuzzi. But unlike the
Nip
yolk of an
slime?
egg,
No, this is not nip slime. Nip slime is much, nicer.
these single-celled plasmodial slime molds can do all sorts of things.
Wait, that sounds
including solving
weird.
problems that humans have a hard
Don't take that out of context, guys.
time solving. People go to universities
snail.
to study them. That's why you don't let your kids get into science. They should be getting stoned and looking at lava lamps like the rest of us. But before we get to the incredible abilities of this smart snot, let's start from the beginning. This right here is sort of like a slime
Snail mention.
mold kindergarten. Slime molds aren't molds, but at this stage of their life,
convention,
they
guys.
resemble them because they start off as spores. And right here, there are thousands of spores. Yes, the snail is eating them, so kind of a bummer. But the babies who
Ooh.
aren't getting murdered will be dispersed out into the world by the wind or passing insects. Whoa, that ant was spring-loaded. When the spore hatches, what comes out is one of these little jiggly things, a single-celled amoeba, just around the size of the point of a pin. And they're
Ew.
cute. Look, this one looks happy.
Oh.
One of those 2 little googly eyes there is a nucleus.
I don't think they have...
Just a refresh.
Okay, I was gonna ask something stupid. The slime doesn't have feelings, does it? Like, the slime doesn't feel a lot, does it? I don't know. I don't
Inside
know.
the nucleus, there's these little
1000
scrolls of
minutes
DNA.
I don't know if I'm gonna upload this before or after the 1000 minute stream, so yeah, it probably already happened, I guess. I don't
And written
know.
on them is like a book of spells to make all the parts of a slime mold. Somewhere on those squiggles, there's a recipe for mucus. Our nuclei have the same thing. Different spells, but written in the same language. It's not pretty. Here, I'll
Ugh.
read you some. Got kukatukukut, atakakukut, atakukukakakata. And I'll stop right there. If I read the whole thing, you might grow an extra nipple. Anyway, these little amoebae have some cool spells. If you put them in one...
I mean, make a short mentioning it. Oh, you're a genius in Shlu Shlu.
I don't know, a scenario where I'd get shrinkage, they
Or I-
grow with
yeah,
it. Actually, 2
we'll
of them.
see,
They're
we'll
called
see.
flagella. Helps them move and catch food. Look at that, they're little shapeshifters. And when it gets dry again, they can transform right back into that amoeba shape, which always looks like it's been dropped
also
from a
write
great
it in the
height.
comments.
Little moving splat. To eat, it just sort of surrounds food and pulls little bubbles into its body. It's like if you could just sit down on a bag of Doritos and... Well, I don't mean... forget it. Now, if one of these amoebae meets another one that's sexually compatible, they skip the dating and move right in together. The 2 cells fuse,
Oh my
and
God.
their nuclei fuse too. Now you got 2 sets of spells in there. You can imagine the arguments. But so far, it's the same as how we do it.
Don't
A sperm cell
argue.
fuses with an egg cell and the nuclei fuse, then preggers, and then we start to grow. But here's the difference. When we grow, our cells divide. To make one cell into 2, first the nucleus makes a copy of all of
my
its
God.
chromosomes. Then those copies pull apart, and the whole cell sort of pinches itself off.
I remember having this kind of stuff in biology, and it really confuses me. Like in biology class, it really confused me What is it called? There's hi Story, thank you for the head pass. Hi. What is it called? Meiosis and mitosis, right? Wait, there's a mitosis emote. Oh, do I not have it? Oh, I do have it. Yeah.
Now you got yourself 2 cells.
I struggled with every single science class, actually. Yeah.
Each one with a nucleus that has all
Why? I don't know, because I was stupid.
cells. Whoa, did you see that? It looked like the scream of a night demon.
Whoa!
Well, slime molds don't give a shit. They do it different. Look at this. When their nuclei divide, the cell doesn't divide with them. And now you got yourself a cell with 2 nuclei, the nerve, and then they do it again at the same time too, like little synchronized swimmers.
Hi.
See, look at them. And it keeps going.
Hey,
and you know where that's headed. A
don't
ton of
poke
nuclei.
me.
And pretty soon you got yourself a big-ass cell. All those nuclei start making these proteins that have the ability to link up. And when they do, they start forming these tubes. The
Wait.
proteins are the same.
But like the slime that you can make yourself. That's a whole different type of slime. I'm not even asking. I'm not gonna ask. The slime you make yourself is not alive.
Ones we have in our muscles, and so the tubes can contract.
Oh, you've been here the whole time? Oh my god! Oh my god!
And if one part contracts, then its neighbors do too. And that creates these pulsing waves that travel through the slime mold.
It does
giving all
look
this
cool,
liquidy stuff.
But it is very strange.
These throbbing tubes. And the whole thing's got a rhythm to it. First, all the crap flows one way, and then it turns right around and flows the other way. And this back and forth business is why they look like they're breathing when you speed them up.
Oh
the
my
pressure from these
god!
tubes can push the leading edge of a slime mold outward.
This looks kind of delicious, not gonna lie. I think Mip is also hive mind. Chad is the hive mind. What do you mean? I'm not the hive mind. I'm just one brain, okay? But you guys are the hive mind.
Words. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. This
What, if
species,
you are
for
Chad?
example, Physarum polycephalum, creates these little fan fingers
I?
that play touchy-touchy with the world. Remember, there's no brain controlling all of this. More like patterns of contractions. If you put an
You're the
eye drop
hive
of
mind
food
'cause you are
stank
the
in front of
voice
it,
in
those
your head.
patterns change. The tubes in that area start going
No.
crazy, and the whole cell sort of reorganizes, pulling material away from the useless tubes and pumping up the ones that are connected to the num-nums. And all that pressure pushes the slime mold in that direction.
Oh
All
my
right, simple
god.
enough. The booger can move towards food. But food isn't always plopped right in front of you in nature. So what happens when a science hippie blocks the beeline with one of these barriers?
Ooh.
We'll get to that in a moment after a brief
That's
word
so
about our sponsor.
cool.
Brilliant.org is an effective and refreshing way to learn science,
God,
math,
you
and
guys.
computer science. Listen, if a single-celled
thank you,
slime
Stubby,
mold can
thank
solve all
you.
sorts of problems without even having a brain, then I'm sure you can learn anything you want to if you put your giant noggin to it.
Wow.
But it helps to have a great partner.
My giant
Brilliant
what?
lets you go at your own pace. It has thousands of interactive lessons that break down big concepts into bite-sized bits that you can
Really,
understand.
Raja?
The courses on
Ooh.
computer science fundamentals, and especially the ones about algorithms, can show you how a series of
Oh my
simple
God,
rules
63K.
repeated can create some very complex outcomes.
Guys, don't forget. So for YouTube, also by the way, maybe this is an incentive for the YouTube people to come here. On Twitch, you can collect channel points while you're watching a stream. And for me, at 500,000 channel points, I have a redeem to send the person who redeems it a scarf that I made myself, that I crochet myself. But when it has been redeemed once, I'm gonna make it more expensive. So, I'm just saying.
And that can help you understand all sorts of things, from how slime molds move to why your TikTok feed is filled with all those, well, whatever it's filled with. And if that doesn't float your boat,
Scar
there are
phrase.
tons more courses from beginner to advanced that'll help build your confidence
I'm
and knowledge about the
sorry,
world
I'm
around
sorry.
you. To get started for free, visit brilliant.org/zayfrank.
It's okay. There's also cheaper things. Wait, look at that. No, it's possible. It's doable, you guys. there's cheaper stuff as well. For 77,000, I'm gonna send you a postcard, a Mipune postcard. Yeah, those are the channel points, everyone. Yep.
Click on the link in the description. The first 200 of you will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription.
No!
Brilliant has been a long-time sponsor of this show, and I'm a fan. Check them out. Visit Brilliant
check out
today.
Brilliant
Where
to
were
support the
we?
Frank.
Oh, right. So the problem here is that if the slime mold just keeps moving to where the food signal is stronger, it'll get stuck. But slime mold don't get stuck. You know why?
What is the piss 400k? I'm gonna for 100k. Wait, why did I put 100? Don't worry about it. I'll remove that.
Because it knows where it's already been. You know in the fairy tales when they leave breadcrumbs behind? It's like that, but instead of breadcrumbs, it's mucus. The slime mold leaves behind a film of snot,
No, it's
sort
not.
of an external map of where it's been. The mucus kind of cancels out the food signal, and it tries a new direction. Using this strategy, it can solve a maze.
Ooh.
And what's amazing, Kilme, is that the solution it settles on tends to be the shortest path through the maze. If you put food down in a bunch of different places, it finds the overall shortest path between all of them. Remember, we're talking about a single cell with no brain.
What the heck?
Some science hippies in Japan were like, all right, if you're so smart, try and design a whole railway system. They put food on a map at each train destination and plopped a slime mold right on top of Tokyo. Think very low-budget Godzilla movie. The slime mold did its thing, but then they realized that it had made paths right through a lake and over some mountains. So they did it clever. They created a surface that let light through where there were
Roger, I think Stubby meant channel points. I think. But yeah, that's not a good abbreviation. Yeah, let's not shorten it like that. Yeah.
Heat light. It hurts them, so they avoided those areas.
Thank you.
On that surface, the slime mold created this network. And here is the actual radar system. When they looked at the slime mold's solution in terms of how much it would cost, how quick you could get places, and how it did if a part of it broke, it did just as well as the one that the Peoples made, without all the college debt. I mean, they're very efficient hunters, aren't they? And they're hungry. Oh, that's nasty. But don't worry, they won't nibble on your toesies, I don't think, because they're picky. They like protein and some carbs. They avoid the salt, hence the no-no on the pepperoni. And they love the oat flakes. Heart-healthy diet, really. Sure, they might have a cheat day now and then, but who doesn't?
Oh my god, my eyes.
If you give them a little buffet where none of the food has their preferred ratio of proteins to carbs...
You guys, I'm gonna be honest, I never thought of slime mold actually being like this. Like, I didn't know. I just didn't know. I just didn't know it could also, like, move like that. Actually insane. Insane, can you call it an animal? Insane living being.
Blend two food sources to the right proportions. I can't even do that. Remember how I told you they avoid salt, right? Well, that can change. If you make them crawl across a salt bridge to get their food, eventually they get used to it, and they'll crawl on a salt surface like a little badass. It's a kind of...
not eating food unless it has 20,000 grams of protein. Bruh. They are. Wish I bioengineered some of the stuff and made it into a house? A slime house? Ooh.
Learning, isn't it?
It would
but
eat
here's the crazy part. Slime molds confuse with other slime molds. The veins just kind of merge into each other. Ooh, that's satisfying. No, Jerry, it's not sexy. All right, maybe it's a little bit sexy. But here's the kicker. If a slime mold that has learned to crawl over salt merges with one that hasn't, it passes on that knowledge. Look at this. The one in the middle was never trained to crawl over salt. But after fusing with two that were, it's the first one to cross the salt bridge. They can transfer friggin' knowledge to each other. It's like a Vulcan mind meld. Turns out Scarecrow didn't need a brain after all, just had to snort one of these. These abilities allow slime molds to cope with all the crazy-ass shit that nature throws at them. If it gets too cold or too dry, they can dry out too. They go into a dormant state called a sclerotium. Sounds like a fancy scrotum. No, Jerry, it doesn't look like a scrotum. Well, it does look a little like a scrotum. Anyway, if you just add some water and food, these come back to life again, and they're right back to it. And that goes on until one day they're big enough and the conditions are right.
I hate this color. The color looks like diarrhea.
The nuclei,
Don't
which have divided
search.
and
I need to
divided and now
search
can be
it.
in the millions, go through one final
Scrotum.
division. But this time, instead of making
Oh!
an exact copy of themselves, they divide up their
Okay,
genetic
I
material
see.
and give half to one and half to the other, like a divorced couple splitting up their books and video games. The resulting nuclei encase themselves into a little tough shell, a spore, like a baby in a
Yeah.
basket. The spores are often woven into intricate lattices and beautiful structures, studded with all those little fruits. And the rest of the
I searched off stream, so it's okay.
slime mold, which has spent most of its life looking like misplaced ejaculate, finally has a chance to shine. Each species does it in their own way. Some raise their little babies up in the
I
air
like how this one looks like. This one looks really satisfying.
on little stalks. Others create shag carpets of
Ooh,
beautifully
this one
tangled
too.
fuzz. For the insects, whole forests emerge and bloom, and they walk under iridescent baubles and furry little plumes, all of which slowly dry out and crumble as
Oh.
the little babies are carried away by the wind.
Oh,
Or they get eaten by a snail.
have fun,
It's
Stubby.
less of an inspirational ending that way. It's more of a slaughter, really. I mean, that's what you get when you're slower than a snail, isn't it?
what do you
Sounds like I cheated
mean?
them.
Not the snail,
These poor bastards.
bruh.
No, Jerry, what I'm saying is if you said,
Why-
here,
why-
solve this maze, and what I gave back to you looked like this, you wouldn't say I was smart, you'd say I was a pervert. I'm saying it's a double standard. Well, yes, of course, it'd still be impressive. Looks like Satan's caviar. I mean, it looks like what I thought STIs were when I was 10.
Silly.
Looks like a smoker's lung on Pop Rocks. Looks like a goth sinus infection. Looks like what happens when my dog gets into the blueberries.
What? Alright, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out the Frank if you want to watch me live. I think I already said it. Come over to Twitch. Give me a sub and a like if you liked the video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.